Now more than ever, families need help, and they need help finding their next meal. People who used to live paycheck to paycheck are now seeking help. They never imagined finding themselves in a food line, but that's exactly what is happening, and today I'm going to try to help you. My name is James Tully, and this is the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast. All right, Matt Spence, Chief Programs Officer, Feeding Tampa Bay, joining me. Matt, it has to be such an interesting time for you guys over there right now.
Really nice opportunity to step into a moment of need for everyone. And, we really appreciate everybody in the community who's come alongside like you guys have.
I want to talk about what we're doing as part of ABC Action News here. We're doing something called 20 Days for Tampa Bay. It's an easy way for everybody out there to help make a big difference for you guys and everybody that you serve. We're teaming up with the Pinellas Community Foundation to host a Feeding Tampa Bay virtual drive to help everybody. And from June 15th all the way to July 5th, you've got plenty of time here. We're going to be highlighting stories of food insecurity on all of our shows around the Bay Area. And we're going to just provide a big push to request people to donate to help Food Focus Day, which is on July 2nd. We're just going to encourage donations every chance we get. And Matt, you guys really need a lot of help right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen the amount of need in our community just explode over the last 3 months. We've seen, the number of food insecure in our 10 county service area is typically around 600,000. And over the last 3 months, that has moved up to now 1.7 million people in the Tampa Bay area are considered secure.
And I've got another staggering number that you guys passed along to me too. Is this right? 70% of people seeing you guys and seeking help are doing it for the first time during the pandemic?
It's true, and it is staggering. We've been doing a lot of additional distributions out in the community, and we wanted to make sure we knew who we were serving. And so in the first month or two of the projects, we really spent a lot of time talking to the folks we're serving and finding out, had they been with us before, had they ever touched the food relief system before. And it was right around 70% who had never ever been in this place of need, never expected to be in the place of need, aren't comfortable with it. And that's why the way in which you guys are highlighting the issue, the way in which we approach this together as a community really needs to strip away that level of fear and uncertainty about reaching out and asking for help, because we know that the need is really across the board, and we're able to provide help with dignity because of people like you and your viewers.
Well, look, I mean, this is what happens when you shut down the economy for an extended period of time like we did. And Matt, we're just now, getting these numbers here to really put an exclamation point on just how bad it is for so many people. I mean, this is what happens. And there's lots of ways you can help us out with this. I'm going to be talking about it throughout this. At the end of this podcast, again, I'm going to talk about it. You can go online, abcactionnews.com/20 days, the number 20 days. Or you can just text the word meals to 74121 to make a simple donation. You guys are saying just $20 is able to provide groceries for a family of four for how long?
That's up to a week,
Yeah, it's pretty now that's staggering too. It doesn't take much to help here.
Well, and people hear that and they find it hard to believe, because I know my weekly grocery bill is not that.
Yeah, explain this a little bit.
Yeah, so Feeding Tampa Bay can do what we do because we're a member of the Feeding America Network, which means we have national relationships with organizations like Publix and Walmart and Target and all of the other major food retailers, food distributors, wholesalers, and they all donate product to us. And so this is really good product. It's everything, literally sometimes straight off of a farm, and also straight off of the shelves at the local grocery store that you're used to using. And then we turn around and get that food back out to the community, to folks who aren't able to afford it themselves. And so because it's donated product, mixed in with some purchased items as well to make sure that it's a good, well-rounded meal, we're able to get things done at a really low cost.
Yeah, and again, so $20 is really just a great starting point for people out there who want to help. Again, we're talking about the 20 days for Tampa Bay. It's going until July 5th here, so you do have some time to donate. You go online, abcactionnews.com/20 days, or you can just simply text the word meals to 74121. That's a very secure transaction you can make there. Well, we'll will highlight that, Matt. Just doing the texting thing, it's very easy, especially if you're in a place where maybe your Wi-Fi isn't too great or whatever else and your phone's not connecting all that well. I've done it before. It's very secure, very safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really appreciate you guys helping to spread the word. And we know Pinellas Community Foundation is an awesome organization. We work with them quite a bit. Duggan and his team are just great people, and we're really proud to stand alongside you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, you just now more than ever, families are without basic meals here in the Bay Area. Prior to the pandemic, you guys had over 600,000 people in the Bay Area that you provided food assistance for. That number ballooned, more than doubled, to 1.3 million now. The other big number, 70% of people visiting Feeding Tampa Bay are doing so for the first time. So I think that's really, that does it. I mean, that puts it in bold and italics, doesn't it, Matt?
It really does. And, when you're out there doing the distributions like we are, you see every shape, size, color, background of person coming through the line and asking for assistance. And it's not easy to do. We so respect the folks who are willing to come forward and say, you know what, I need help, because it's tough to swallow your pride and admit that. But it's so important that folks do it, because we do have the food available to people who need it. And it's only through partners like you that make it possible. And what we've seen over the last 3 months is that the entire community has really rallied around this effort. We understand, we have a tagline that we love to use that says, food makes tomorrow possible. And I think that really encapsulates what we're talking about. Food is the foundation of so many things for all of us. And so it's not just that, that meal we all love that's surrounded by family, but it's just the ability to get up the next morning and go to work or take care of your children. Food is foundational to everything else that we want to accomplish.
And hopefully what isn't foundational is you having to worry about where your next meal or your family's next meal comes from, and that's where you guys step in. I'm going to say it again, $20 here. Feeding Tampa Bay, Matt Spence here with us. You're saying that provides groceries for a family of 4 for up to a week, just $20.
Yeah, that's right. It's we're fortunate to be in a position where we have so many good partners on the food acquisition side that we can do that. And then it's just a matter of the folks in the community coming out to our distributions or finding our partners to get access to that food.
Let's talk about the kids for a little bit here. This is definitely worth bringing up. Summer food programs stopped in a lot of places during this pandemic, and some don't really have concrete plans to reopen. The new school year is just around the corner, but there's still some time here. You guys say that the Feeding Tampa Bay, you're going to continue to fill the gaps that county programs can't. Did you want to get a little bit more into detail on that, and specifically maybe who you're helping or where parents can reach out to?
Yeah, absolutely. We're fortunate that we were able to activate our summer break spot program as soon as the pandemic started, and fill in gaps where, there are, just in the Hillsborough County school system, there are 100,000 plus kids who receive free or reduced price lunch. And often that's breakfast as well. And so there's, 5 to 10 meals a week that are just gone from a family's food supply and now have to be replaced.
You said that was 100,000 kids, Matt?
Over 100,000 kids in Hillsborough County.
And that's just in Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County is one of the biggest school districts in the nation, but nonetheless, that's a lot of kids.
That's right. It's over 50,000 in Pinellas County, and the numbers are similar in other counties as well. So, there are a lot of kids in our community who depend on 1 or 2 meals a day coming from the school. And when schools closed, the districts, they did a great job of activating their programs as they could outside of the school walls, but it just didn't cover the need. And so we jumped in and did everything we could, along with our partners like Boys and Girls Clubs and local churches and others who were happy to step up and offer a location for us to serve meals. And so now we are getting breakfast and lunch out there to kids all across our 10-county service area.
Well, can we touch on what it's been like for you guys as an organization? Because you said that your need basically doubled, 600,000 to 1.3 million people. How are you doing getting food and other supplies to all of the people that need it here?
Yeah, so it was a little sketchy early on in the first week or two, there at the end of March, where people were just buying everything on the shelves, so that really affected food supply chains. But things have gotten pretty normal now in the food chain, and so we are back up to getting a lot of our regular donations. We've actually doubled the amount of food in the door here at the warehouse. In a typical month before COVID-19, we get about 1 million pounds of food in the door. This past month, we were over 2 million pounds per week.
And that's
So
totally dictated by the need.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's
But
right.
you're able to get it, which is a really good sign.
Yeah, working with farmers, working with wholesalers of food from parts of the country. Publix and others have stepped up in a huge way to buy food just to give to us. And so last week we served over 2 million meals in 1 week.
Hey, listen, terrific stuff. And moving forward here, do you see any signs of encouragement, anything you want to pass along to anybody listening to this about where you guys are, where maybe things you might anticipate, anything you want to talk about, Matt? Floor is yours.
Sure. Yeah, I would say, two things. First and foremost, we are all across the community with our food distributions. We're doing well over 100 every month now in every county that we cover. And if you go to feedingtampabay.org/find a pantry or click the find food button on our website, that'll help navigate towards the place nearest you. We are out there in the community delivering food, and in fact, we established what we call mega pantries. So every Saturday morning, we're at Tropicana Field serving over 1,000 families with food. We're over at Hillsborough Community College on Dale Mabry serving 3,000 plus families. We have one every day of the week in some part of our territory. So I would really encourage people who are in need to go find us. The flip side of that is all of that takes extra hands. We need our volunteers back as much as possible. We're doing a great job of social distancing and providing protective equipment, masks and gloves. And in order to hand out food like that, we really need the help. And so you can go to feedingtampabay.org, click on volunteer, and sign up to help your community in that way as well.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't give money right now, you can maybe give your time, and that would be something else to do. Matt Spence, again, Feeding Tampa Bay. Thanks so much for your time today. We'll save this for last. This is a situation where we talked about, how your numbers have increased because of not just the time our economy was closed, the number of jobs lost, obviously. And that means people living paycheck to paycheck prior to this, they're now finding themselves with nowhere else to turn, and they're in a food line. You say it's nothing to be ashamed about. You guys have open arms to anybody who wants to come into the line. How do they do it? What's the best way? And what are some of your requirements, if anything? What do people need to show you? Take me through everything that needs to happen. If you're out there listening to this and you do need help, you don't have anywhere else to turn, and you want to at least try out Feeding Tampa Bay to see if it can help you and your family. Matt, what do you do?
Here's the great news. You just show up. We don't require any registration. We don't require any verification of income. If you are in need of some food and you come to a Feeding Tampa Bay distribution, we will give you food. It's that simple. There is no registration requirement. There is no eligibility verification. That's one of the things that we want to make sure people are really aware of. It's a low barrier to entry thing. If you need to put food on your table, we're going to help you do that. You mentioned the job loss thing, and I think it's really important to go back to, because as the economy starts to open up again and things begin to feel a little bit normal. I know I've noticed traffic is starting to pick back up again.
We've noticed it too on the morning show, man.
I'm sure you have. But what I want to make sure I share with folks is that because the healthcare side of things is starting to normalize a bit, does not in any way mean the need is reducing. Right? When you think about, you mentioned people who have missed 6 or 7 paychecks, people who have gone through every bit of savings that they have and are now in a place of desperation that they weren't even, a couple of weeks ago. And so we're actually seeing need increase. We're seeing more and more people come to us even this week and this month than we ever have before, because all of those avenues that they had before Feeding Tampa Bay became their last resort have been exhausted. But what we want people to know is we're here. We're here for them. There will be no judgment. There will be nothing other than a smile and a warm wave. We wish we could shake a hand and give a hug, but we're not in that time yet. But there will certainly be a smile and a wave and a box of food at the end.
I think we all hope someday we're going to be back at that time again. Matt Spence, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Like Matt said, if you need help, all you have to do is show up to Feeding Tampa Bay. But if you want to help, go online to abcactionnews.com/20 days, 20 days, or text the word meals to 74121. Just $20 provides groceries for a family of 4 for up to a week. And please subscribe to the Rebound Tampa Bay podcast on Apple and Stitcher, and you can watch this podcast in its entirety in a video format on the ABC Action News streaming news channel and the ABC Action News app. I'm James Tully. Thanks for listening.